Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Centers for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, our meditation portion of today's service. And it is my pleasure to introduce our practitioner today, who has just recently joined our practitioner team, Dawn Bauer.
Thank you. It's just a reminder to everyone, this year's theme is Living in Everyday Wonder, and today's topic is embracing the now. So in today's meditation, we're really going to focus on embracing that now. And just invite you to get comfortable in your seats wherever you're sitting. Invite you to close your eyes. And sitting comfortably and upright, placing your feet on the floor, flat on the floor, and placing your palms down on top of your thighs. This will ground you in the now. And just start to notice your body position. Noticing the chair beneath you, or whatever it is that you're sitting on at home. Noticing the floor beneath your feet. Noticing perhaps your clothing on your skin. And just allowing your attention to go there. And start to notice your breathing. Taking a nice deep breath in and then out slowly. And perhaps take a few more deep, intentional breaths. And then allow your breath to just go to its natural state. And just notice that sensation. Notice the air as it passes through your nostrils. The tiniest sensation. Notice as it moves through your windpipe into the lungs and filling the belly. Notice the body expanding and contracting slightly as you breathe. In and out. And now notice any sensations in the body. Starting at the tip of your head and slowly moving over each body part down to the tip of your toes. Pause and be curious about the sensations you notice. Are they physical sensations? Be in wonder about any particular emotions that might be present, but don't judge anything. Just be curious and wonder. Just notice and then move on. And continue to scan your body now. Pausing to notice and moving on. And just letting it be now. As you continue to breathe in and out, notice how you continue to relax and move even deeper into the now. And now start to notice any sounds that you may hear around you. Notice sounds in front of you. Notice sounds behind you. Notice any sounds to the right. And to the left. Notice any sounds above you. And perhaps any sounds below you. Maybe you notice sounds from within you. Your breath, perhaps the beating of your heart. And just notice. And again, notice how as you continue to breathe, you relax. Notice how your body relaxes. Notice how your mind relaxes. Notice how easily thoughts come up, as they do. And also notice how easily they drift off as you continue to breathe and relax now. And notice that however you spend these next few moments in the now is perfect. And know that should you happen to drift into the future or the past, your breath will bring you right back to the now. Enjoy these next few moments and trust that I will bring you back into the room when it's time. that it's in this now, this present space, where you can tap into that infinite wisdom, that guidance from God, from the universe, from Spirit, that inspiration that is just for you. And as you gently bring your attention back to the sound of my voice, back into the room, take in a few intentional breaths, nice deep breaths. And start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Just be gentle with yourself as you start to move and come back to consciousness. And when you're ready, you can gently blink your eyes open and smile, because you're here now. Thank you. And of course, if you need to grab a drink or something, you may, but I believe we're going to jump right into the service today.
Good morning again, and please join us in welcoming the Big Love Band.
Good morning. We are the Big Love Band, and we're going to bring you some love this morning. So stand up if you are with us to boogie, and at home, you better be standing as well if you can, and dance along with us. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for Yes, I'm only here for God.
That is the way to start the day. My name is Linda Lloyd. I am one of the licensed practitioners here at Centers for Spiritual Living Cape Coral, and we just want you to know that wherever you are on your spiritual path, that you are so very welcome here. We believe that we are co-creators with the divine and that you can change your entire life by changing your mind. And I always love to put a plug in here. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's doable and it's amazing. Ernest Holmes is the founder of our philosophy, and we teach the universal truths found in all spiritual teachings, both traditional and contemporary. So we study the teachings of Jesus and the teachings of modern day mystics and Deepak Chopra and Louise Hay and just so many more. So please visit us at our website, cslcapecoral.org, for information on upcoming events, to submit a prayer request, or to send us your comments and questions. We want to hear from you so we can reach out to you. And please raise your hands and attention for another amazing song by our Big Love Band.
Boy, if there were ever a day to get ready and dive in, it's today, right?
Yeah. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love.
Give him some more love. Thank you for getting our day off into such a wonderful way. And everybody's still standing. And those couple of you that aren't, I invite you to stand as we welcome you and we just bestow a blessing on each other. So warm up those hands. And if you're at home, you can spread them back out to us through the airwaves or turn them on yourself. And please repeat with me. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful you are here. Welcome to the center.
What a wonderful world. I don't know about you, but I bet just about everybody remember when the sun came out. Or you've known it for your whole life. I was looking it up, and wow, Louis Armstrong released it in 1967. And he wasn't the writer, he was the recorder of it, but boy, it stayed with me forever. Like everything does that you learn when you're 7 years old, right? It stays with you forever, right? And that song has always just been such a soothing piece to me, whether it's in times when I'm wanting to rejoice or whether it's in times when I'm needing to just totally reboot and start over. And then when this version of the song came out by John Batiste, and I looked up, it came out in 2018, he loved the song also and was looking for a way to write his own version of it to make it even more of a meditation piece for himself and to bring even deeper meaning to the wonderful healing power of nature in our world. So with that, I share this John Batiste version of What a Wonderful World. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue What a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, and also on the faces of all the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying. I watch them grow. They'll know much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, self, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. What a wonderful
Ooh, I think that deserves another round of applause. I've never heard that version before. It's beautiful. And I was just thinking this morning, if you're living here in Cape Coral, you woke up to tornado sirens this morning. Not so much blue skies and white clouds. But the truth is, that's just our perspective, right? If you get above the clouds, the storm clouds, it is blue skies and white clouds. That's the truth. So again, just reminding you of today's topic, embracing the now. I've got a few readings for you, one from Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind, page 50, paragraph 2. Here and now, we are surrounded by and immersed in an infinite good. How much of this infinite good is ours? All of it. And this next quote is by Eckhart Tolle from The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. As soon as you honor the present moment, all unhappiness and struggle dissolve, and life begins to flow with joy and ease. When you act out the present moment awareness, whatever you do becomes imbued with a sense of quality, care, and love, even the most simple action. And the next quote I have is just a repetition of the first one. So just remember that you have all of it. So now I just invite you to close your eyes in prayer. And in that breath that we all just took there, That is God. That is that ever-present, living spirit, right here, right now, living in, as, and through all things. In the tornado sirens, in the clouds, in the rain, in the sunshine, in the rainbows, in each and every face that we see, there is God right there. And it's always present right here and right now. And I know that as I am one with that ever-present living spirit and God expresses through me, I know that is true for everyone here in the center. It is true for Ron Frost as he gives us his divinely guided message today, embracing the now. And I know for this community here today, we get to hear exactly what we need to hear right now, today. And that everything is blessed. And just take a moment here if you're in the center and listen to that rain. What a blessing. That life-giving rain. And I'm so thankful to know this truth for all of us, for each one of us, and everyone in the world, everyone on the planet. And I know today is good and very good. And I release these words into the law knowing they are already done before they were spoken. And so it is. And now let me introduce to you our speaker, Ron Frost. He decided to travel all the way down here in the middle of a storm this morning. So thank you for that. So he is an author, a speaker, a life coach, and a sales coach. And he's also a licensed spiritual practitioner that studied under Reverend Shell here at the Center of Spiritual Living, Cape Coral. However, he's now based out of a Center of Spiritual Living in Sarasota. Ron's popular book, Getting Unstuck, The 9 Keys to Creating More Prosperity, Fulfillment, and Joy, is a practical self-coaching guide to help the reader live a more self-aware and empowered life. He and his book have been featured on numerous podcasts, as well as AM and FM radio talk shows across the nation. He is the founder of Positive Momentum Coaching, a leader of the Southwest Florida Speakers Toastmasters Club, and a former member of our own center's Leadership Council. Ron's biggest love is his family, which comprises of his beautiful wife, Fawny, right over there, 2 amazing daughters, Nicole and Ashley, and 3 dogs and 2 cats. And while his amazing family may seem like your regular, everyday, ordinary family, the real and never disclosed truth is that each evening between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m., they pose as superheroes and secretly slip into red spandex jumpsuits to fight crime throughout the galaxy, and while undergoing the code name, The Incredibles. Didn't know if you knew that about him. All right, put your hands together for Ron Frost.
It's not easy getting your cats and dogs into red spandex. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And more importantly, thank you for that beautiful meditation. Wasn't that wonderful? Yes. I mean, it took me so deeply, I forgot what the heck I was going to say today. No, but it was beautiful. And I would like, if we could convert that section to an MP3 and share it with everybody, because that truly helps people come into the now. And we know how important it is as something that, quite frankly, life doesn't always bring us there. It's something that we need to be intentional about. And especially when you have moments like this, where you have suddenly something comes up and it's a tornado, or tornadoes as I guess experienced. I got 2 calls on the way down here. One was my mom and one was Pam Lambert. And my mom was, of course, telling me that she's not going to be able to make it today because of everything that's going on. And Pam Lambert saying, kind of like, do you still want to do this type of thing? And I says, part of, I guess, being somewhat self-aware is I've always been somewhat internally guided, because I know life is going to throw things at you. There's going to be curveballs. There's going to be things and events, and it put us into fear. And by right, there's certain things that we do need to be safe about. And it's true that if you feel wrong, it's up to you as an individual. Say, no, it's not for me. I feel safe. I'd rather be at home. But if something's telling you, it's like, no, it's okay. Just keep driving. Just keep going. And especially if your wife has her foot on the gas pedal, and you really have no choice. Everything is an individual thing. And that's the truth about life. We're individuals' expressions of the divine. But what being in the now allows us to do is to be able to completely be in touch with the fullness of life. And meet it at the moment of where the wonder and the joy and the feeling of the divine and the source is with us. And in that, we know we're safe. We're always safe. We've always been, we always will. And we talk about this thing about now. It's been a popular thing that you hear when you tune into Oprah and she's got the next speaker on, or being in the now. It's kind of cliche. But why is it important? And then how do we do it? I always like to come from the why. Why is this important, and how do we do it? Well, the why basically is for the presence. It's what we all learn from our many spiritual practices. And when we're in the now, truly in the very present moment, we feel the essence of the divine. We feel the essence of our true self. We have that quietness and surety of mind, and we know that it's all good. We're divinely guided. We're tapped into our intuitive self. Quite often you'll hear people say, how do I work? How do I develop my intuition? What classes do I need to take, and what do I need to do? And the truth is, it's always there. It's that silent symphony, the most beautiful song, subtly in the background, while our mind is focusing on the two guys with a jackhammer in the front of our window, right? It's the moment we unplug, whatever we unplug from the TV, from social media, from fear, from anything that allows us to truly blossom in the now moment. Being in the now moment is where the essence of life truly is. So to do that, it requires, I would say, certain things that we need to necessarily apply into our life. And before I go there and share with you what I would say is my 3 secrets of being in the now, let's hear a little bit about what some of our spiritual gurus and masters and authors, and I've got a few quotes I'm going to read. If I can open my piece of paper. Buddha shares, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. So true. Eckhart Tolle, the father of now, father of the Now movement, authors of many books, including The Power of Now. If you were conscious, that is to say, totally present in the now, all negativity would dissolve almost instantly. It could not survive in your presence. And quite often, that's what it is. We've got the past is coming up, the things that have defined us, the beliefs that we've inherited, the thoughts that are there, that when we're in the present moment, anything that is of a negative nature can't be there. It just can't match the vibration of that moment that we're in. The point of power is always in the present moment. Who said that one? Louise Hay. The point of power is always in the present moment. One of my favorite authors, Wayne Dyer, and there's just a lot of great quotes from him, but this one I really enjoy. It's a great hallmark of mental wellness. A great hallmark of mental wellness is the ability to be present in the moment fully and with no thoughts of being elsewhere. You know, no thoughts of being in the past, no thoughts of being in the future. No thoughts of even focusing on some of the other dramas and activities and distractions in our life either, being fully present. Lao Tzu, a 6th century Chinese philosopher, said, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living at the present. And I got a couple of funny ones too. Procrastinate in the now moment. Why put it off till tomorrow? Or, today I will live in the moment, unless that moment becomes unpleasant, in which case I will take a nap. So we know there are things that pop up in life. And of course, the things that allow us to try our essence to bring ourselves back to center, I find are basically 3 basic concepts that I've learned that I want to share with you, which is, number 1, be intentional. Be intentional about anything that you really, truly want in life. And that's even mindfulness. That's even being in the now. That's being fully present. Be intentional. Be aware. Be self-aware. And the last one is, if the other 2 don't work, just surrender. And surrender into the bliss, into the divine that knows it's always got your back and everything's always good. So when being intentional, I find that, as I teach a lot of business owners and a lot of salespeople and all this energy about setting goals and doing this, quite frankly, I still find the be intentional is something that is true even for our own spirituality. True? I even go to the point of, have an intentional activity. Schedule it in your day. As silly as that may sound, having some sort of spiritual activity, even if it's just sitting and doing nothing. Even meditation. I don't know how many people meditate every day. A few do. For me, when I first heard of that, it's like, sit and do nothing, close my eyes and just breathe. I'm too busy for that. I've got things to do. But yet, it's important. We are responsible of our own vibrational set point. Because as life stirs up tornadoes or anything else that can set us astray, is our spiritual practice that we have routinely within our life that keeps us in that vibration that we choose to have. The past vibrations tend to be ones of blame, shame, guilt. Guilt, I didn't do what I thought I was going to do. Blaming the other. Shaming ourselves. These are lower vibrational energies. And if we release those by bringing ourselves into the present moment and having a practice around being in the present moment and be deliberate about that, we essentially affect our vibrational set point that allows us to, not only in that moment, but in all moments, start to see life as a living miracle. So what are our basic, well, it's up to you, whatever works for you. Some people have a hard time with meditation. Sometimes just sitting and being silent. For me, I like to go to nature. And one of the practices I love just doing with any form of nature, whether it's your cat or whether it's a flower, just sit there, look at the cat and say thank you. Say thank you to nature. Say thank you to the wonder. Say thank you to the flower, to the tree, and just be present with it. Try that. Thank you is gratitude, and we have the energy of gratitude in us. It brings us into that present moment. And when we have the visual aspect of the flower, of nature, we sink deeply into that moment. And if you spend just 10, 15 minutes in that stillness, thanking nature, thanking life and all forms of life, the miracle starts to become you. But it takes that practice. So intentionality, much like when I'm coaching people, block it out on your calendar. I want to say block it out on your calendar. It's true that sometimes life gets so busy that we just put off the things that are most important. And spiritual practice is really one of them. Another one that I've done, and people have shared with me, is just the experience of grounding. Go barefoot. You know, as you're sitting there blessing nature, take your shoes off, let them be on, let your feet touch the ground. Yoga. Noticing what you're noticing your breath, being one with your breath. Journaling, but find a practice that works for you. Find a practice that allows you to sit in a silence. Even reading some of the spiritual books found in our library. Even taking classes. Anything that you know that will intentionally raise your vibration is very much going to help you be in the present. Be more aware. So that's first thing I always say is, we're responsible for our vibrational set point, each of us individually, because if we really want to change the world that's out there, many of us sometimes, things come up on TV, things come up and we're like, they irk us, right? But what's happening inside of us is just the feeling relative to what we're seeing on TV. If we're in our living room experiencing something on TV, which is somewhere else on this planet, it's not in our living room, the feelings that are coming up on us relative to whatever it is, or whoever it is really the experience that we're having. Our biggest contribution to humanity is our vibration. As an individual aspect of the divine matrix of humanity, that vibration that we hold makes a difference in all. Imagine if we got everybody to shut their TV off for a week and just sit in nature. We would probably purify the air and the water on this planet, and we create abundance beyond any we create heaven on earth just by doing that. As I've said, it's really never been about who's in the White House. It's what's going on in our house. And that's the only place that we can be. And being in a now moment, really being fully in the present moment, and feeling the aspects of joy and bliss and gratitude. Well, that intentional helps us to be better beings on this planet. The second one is awareness. And awareness is being aware that we are aware. Being aware that we are conscious beings. Being aware of our thoughts, but yet not having judgment on those thoughts. So we may have thoughts of the past, and we may have even anxious thoughts of the future, and they may be surfacing throughout our day. But being aware of them, because the moment we can create change and allow us to come back to the present, is first we have to know what's going on. But second, we don't want to have to shame the thought or ourselves for having it, because that just brings us into a lower vibration. So being aware of where we are with our thoughts. Science says we have something between 40 to 50,000 thoughts per day, and many of them are recycled patterns that don't necessarily serve us, But the more that we can tune in to be aware of that, the greater degree that we can have an effect of change that will benefit us, benefiting not only us, but our community around us in the greater world. So sometimes, too, when in our level of awareness, it's that awareness of just life itself. It's awareness of the subtleties, the beautiful, beautiful subtleties of like the most amazing song I heard, right, that Colette played. A wonderful version of a wonderful world is what I would call that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you were sitting in the chairs, as I was, just feeling that moment, feeling that song, and as you see the musician into the music, she's into that now moment. That's where you see the artist. We had all forms of art. Everything is, in a way, a form of art. It's just knowing that you are the artist. Even the accountant or the bookkeeper, that is art. Because if that's the desire and that's the flow that's coming through this, that's their nature of service, that is the joy, and that can be the moment. It is basically how we look at life. Do we resist it? Do we feel it is not serving us? Or do we feel the joy of it? Our culture has put us in the point of either being motivated by two things, the fear of loss or desire of gain, right? So we're somewhere in this direction or that direction and not in the now moment. To the swimmer who swims, does the swimmer swim because the swimmer has the fear of drowning if they stop swimming? Or is there a destination the other end of the pool? Or when I was a kid up in Maine, we used to swim to this island called Blueberry Island. So it was like a mile. It was like our goal to get there. But we're always goal seekers. That's part of our culture. Yet to the swimmer, in the analogy of water, what if it's just the joy of the water? The joy of the movement in the water? If you think about it, if we find joy in the moments of the things that we do, we ultimately achieve the desired outcome of life, one way or another. Whether it's the perfect envisioning of the dreams and the goals and the desires that we've had, or something better. When we're in the present moment, we can't operate from a lack of not being there. We can't be in the should of, our shoulds or our have to do's or our want to. We can let those go. We can play hooky from our shoulds and just allow the present moment in the joyous activities that fulfill the destination of life that which we're living into. Instead of being anxious of the future or wondering out whether it's going to work a certain way or not. So when we're in the how, we're not necessarily in the now. True? Our how is the analytical mind that's always trying to figure out, how am I going to do this? How am I going to figure this out? How is this going to happen? Whereas when we just release and we let go, we just trust and know that the divine that's working through us and as us and for us is always going to have our back. And I remember my daughter when she was really young, and we were coming to the center, and we were, ending all of our prayer like we always end it. And so it is. And so it is, and so it is. The claiming of the truth that we are stating. And I remember our little Ashley one time in prayer, she was like, "It is what it is." And I'm like, "Ashley, so it is." "No, Dad, it is what it is." And yet, when you look at the acceptance, if you can accept, sometimes we are driven to aspire to some sort of level of greatness that may not be innately blossomed, but it may be in the comparison of the world around us, or what we feel that we should do, or the goals and the labels that we aspire to. When in the present moment of who we are and what we are, in this now moment, the is what it is the most beautiful essence And that life can pass us by if we're constantly on the road of striving and never arriving. So take the moment to be aware, to see the beauty, to fall in love with it, to know that life is already perfect. And in that perfection of life, the everlasting blossoming of the new is always happening, This now moment and any future now moment is always beautiful. You know, sometimes nature kind of throws us into that state. We have things that happen to us that are what I call peak moments. The birth of a child. We're in awe. We can't help but be in awe. You know, things that may suddenly pop up and change us, no matter how driven we may be. Coming from a Western culture, you know, we're quite often so ingrained with having to get things done. And when I traveled to Fani's country years ago, actually, when I helped set up a business in Indonesia, I realized that, you know, we took a sales team out to start to sell the business, to sell the products and start to meet people. And I've always, you know, in the United States, going door to door, you know, quite often, we have different experiences. We could have a door slammed on us. We could have, you know, people that just don't have time. Everybody's always in a rush. And yet, the very first place that we stopped at, they were like, well, come on in, sit down. Would you like coffee? Would you like orange juice? They brought food out. And I'm sitting there like, we're never going to get to the rest of the places we need to get to. But that's the way they were. And that was true in many of the other countries I went to. You know, where in the U.S., it was like we're always on the clock. I have a friend that's retired, and he still works as if he's on the clock. Because the years of being in that cycle of always having to do something instead of being, just being. You know, we're human beings, not human doings. So we're always having to feel that we have to do something because life pushes us that way. But we can choose to be aware. So in many cases, a peak moment can bring us back to that center. And years ago, we went snorkeling in the Keys, and it was one of those peak moments where we actually were with a group of other people, and it was in a coral reef. And Fani had asked before we got out of the boat into the water, she asked the captain, she goes, are there ever any sharks? Now, this lady is a manifester. So the moment she says something, she's claiming something to the universe, and of course, there's a whole other story around that. But sure enough, we weren't in there but a few minutes, and there's 10-foot nurse shark. We didn't know nurse sharks only eat coral, and their mouths are only this big, but they still, when they swim under you, they're a beast. If you think walking on water was a miracle, well, try levitating 4 feet above it in a full-out sprint to the boat. Not just Fani, but everybody else. And I was the only one that still had my head underwater, didn't know what was going on. I heard this muffled, you know, shark, get out of the water, get out of the water. And it really was that moment when everything just sat still. And it's like, oh my God, here I am, you know, still waddling around in this water, and I'm finally figuring out what they're saying to me. And of course, you know, Fani's like, well, get the camera, because it already started floating. There was fins and flippers and everything was all a mess. But anyways, once we got on the boat, it was that moment of stillness, that moment of awe, that moment of here we are safe, we are alive. And you could see the essence of the glistening of the water and the sunlight on Fani's face. You can see the feeling of knowing that, you know, this is life, we're okay. And it just kind of stopped us because we were so busy with our life, running our business, and we just needed that. So sometimes life gives you those peak moments. If all else fails, trust, know, and surrender. Surrender is one of those things that they teach in spiritual practices that allows you to really, truly let go of everything, especially when something feels like it's beyond your control. You know, Dr. Wayne Dyer had a famous quote and says, there's two things in this world that we can worry about. One is those things that we have control over, and one is those things that we have no control over. Well, the things that we have control over, we can do something. But yet the things that we have no control over, why worry about them? So either way, why consume ourselves with worry? We can either take action or we can just let it be. So in the surrendering is this knowing that no matter how perfectly planned you may have made things or wanted things to be in this moment or in any moment or any future moment or any past moment, to surrender into the trusting that all is good. Even when you're frustrated, even when things don't seem like they're going the way you want them to go. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's just life telling you it is time to surrender. A couple years ago, I drove my mom's car she's a snowbird, so I'm always volunteering to drive her car from Connecticut to Florida while she flies. And every trip is always easy. Well, this trip, somewhere in South Carolina, I got a flat tire. And what I didn't realize, it was more than a flat tire, it was a split rim. So not only did I have a flat tire, but I had a rim that I couldn't put another tire on. And I was between one exit and another exit. I mean, there's a huge distance. There's a farm field next to me, and it's getting dark, and my cell phone's not working. Worry thoughts going through my mind? Sure. Am I a spiritual practitioner, and did I try prayer treatment? No. Should I have? Probably. And of course, I've got mom's stuff in the back, and so I'm trying to open it up, pull, and I've got AAA, but again, spotty with the cell phone. And I'm sitting there, trying to figure everything out. There's a little tiny jack. I'm like, well, the little donut, which isn't going to get me far, doesn't have much air in it either. I'm like, so what do I do? And I don't know if it was a surrender, but it was basically the words that came through me was, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. And within a few moments, this truck comes up, and this gentleman comes out of the truck and says, "Can I help you?" What I didn't realize was this guy was what we call a trucker's mechanic. He services tractor-trailer trucks when they're broken down. He had every single gadget that you could imagine on his truck. He was picking up a couch for a buddy that was one exit up, and he had to bring it to the next exit, and he passed me. And in the surrendering and accepting and allowing and knowing and seeing this miracle, oh, and by the way, his name was Ron, right? But I just sit there and it's like, am I in a movie? And this is just couldn't have been better. God not only sent me an angel, but sent me an angel with tools. And within a matter of moments, I was back on the road. And it was, to me, what I felt is, yeah, I could have started walking away. I could have put that donut on and drove away. I mean, there could have been a number of things. But somehow in the moment of surrender and knowing that the divine has always got your back, good things blossom and they happen for you. And I'm sure many of us have had those experiences as we think about them. So, the three things: be intentional. Bring that practice. If you don't have one, I encourage you to do that. First thing in the morning is for me is the best, because what you put off to the end of the day, we get tired. Sometimes we don't do it. But whatever that is, maybe it's your music. Music brings you into now moment. Like when Fani's singing, she's not only there, but everybody on that dance floor is in that now moment too. So whatever that thing is that brings you in that deeper sense, Because life can go back and forth. When we get in that mundane task of every day being on the same hamster wheel of life, we need to short circuit it and be in the now. And try that, going out into nature and thanking a leaf, thanking the sun. And then be aware of our thoughts, aware of our life, aware of the things that we can really truly allow ourselves to be present with. And surrender into the moment, knowing and trusting, regardless of what may be the way you thought it was going to be. Well, it could be this or something better. And the something better is typically something beyond our human consciousness can understand. But the divine consciousness that's within us already knows the way. So let's bring this into prayer, shall we? So as I hold a special space of silence for those that have been in this moment that we know that's called tornadoes, weather anomalies, I just know that there is safety. Because back of all things, there is a divine, infinite love, infinite thing, infinite guidance, infinite joy, infinite security, infinite safety, infinite bliss. That which we call spirit, the love, beauty of the universe, or simply by the word God. It manifests out of itself the miracle in this now moment and in every moment. And as I know that which has our back, that which has the everlasting beauty of the essence of now, the essence of love, that is what is within me and as me, and even in my words at this now moment. And that's the same truth for this spiritual community, for all that are sitting here before me, as well as all that are listening online, one with the true nature of the divine. And so with that, I know that we are guided by beauty. We are uplifted with a divine nature. We are surrounded by love. And in gratitude, I surrender into this now moment. And so it is. Thank you. It is what it is.
Good morning. Thank you, Ron, for making that journey down here today to be with us and for that wonderful, wonderful message. Thank you. So my name is Melissa Tuff, and I am one of the practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral. And it is my great pleasure to invite you into our conscious giving portion of our service today. And we are so very grateful for each and every one of you who showed up here today and all of you who stayed home safe and are joining us online. And so at the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral, we have plenty of ways for you to give. We have the text to tithe option. You can text your tithe to 239-320-3820. You can send your contribution through PayPal using our address paypal@cslcapecoral.org. You can use the donate button on our website at cslcapecoral.org. You just click that little button and you can do a one-time donation, or you could set up bi-weekly or monthly automatic donations as you choose. And you can also do it the old school way and just mail us a check. And that is for the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral, 406 Southeast 24th Avenue, Cape Coral, Florida, 33990. And you can also support your spiritual home through your shopping on Amazon if you visit smile.amazon.com and select the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral as your charity of choice, we will benefit from your online purchases. And if you're joining us here in person today, we do have the blue branded vessels, both in here and out in the lobby, and you can deposit your gift in there as you make your way out. And so I invite you right now, if you have your gift with you, to hold it in your hands. And if you don't have your gift, just please put your hands upon your heart and join me as we speak our tithing affirmation. Today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. And now I speak a word of blessing over these tithes and gifts, knowing that each gift is pressed down, multiplied, and overflowing into the community at large. I know that each giver and each gift is divinely blessed and divinely appointed, and we are all blessed for each and every gift given today. And this allows us to continue to spread our message and share our spiritual teachings with not only this community at Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral, but the community and world at large. So standing in gratitude for all that has transpired here today, I release my word to the law, knowing that this or something better is unfolding. Yes, yes, yes. And so together we claim this by saying, and so it is. And now I'd like to invite Miss Linda Lloyd back up here as your human invitation to all of our events.
Thank you, Mel, and thank you, everybody, for coming in the rain today, and all of you tuning in out there. And as Melissa said, I am your human invitation to all these amazing events that go on here at the center. We are a center that likes to do lots of stuff, but we're not just doings. We are beings as we're doing it. So we are so grateful to those who came by for our beautification yesterday. There's some beautiful pictures up on the screen, and a huge thank you to Pam and Bee and Phyllis and Gail and Ralph, Cheryl, Teresa, and Mark. You guys rock. Give them some support with those hands. And a special thank you to Hal, if you're out there watching, Hal, for providing lunch. We love you. And join us we have a new diversity and inclusion initiative. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, January 18th at 6 p.m. via Zoom. And you can email Gregory Toole at gregorytoole.com for the Zoom link, and he will pass it on to you. Gregory Toole is also starting a new class. His classes are amazing, and it's going to be on Wednesday, and we're doing a new hybrid because some of you said you'd like to be at the center, and some of you like doing it on Zoom at home, or you're up north, or however that happens. So we're going to be doing partly in the sanctuary, is that right? Oh, in the classroom. And your $225 investment includes your workbook, certificate from home office, and counts towards your practitioner training prerequisites. And even if you don't think that you want to be a practitioner and you don't need these prerequisites, I came to these spiritual teachings so accidentally. I showed up at Agape one day, and I took a workshop, and then I took a class, and then I just wanted to take another one, and I was never going to be a practitioner. But I'm telling you, it's just my life is so much better. So I just want to give a shout out for that. And also, do not let the cost prohibit you from taking this class, because there are so many ways to help you. Melissa can help you with payment plans and other arrangements. Scholarships and what have you. So grab a flyer in the lobby and come and join this class. Saturday, January 22nd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Reverend Gregory's going to be here, and we're going to have a potluck that day and a class while he's here on the Saturday workshop. Stepping into Your Greatest Life Yet workshop. Who doesn't want to have their greatest life? So come and enjoy and check out what's going on there. It's offered on a love donation basis, and once again, there's a flyer in the lobby. And as I mentioned, we are going to have a potluck on, that's next week, right? Okay. I'm so in the moment, half the time I don't know what day it is. So, but I do know it's Sunday, because I love Sundays. It's my one day off. So come break bread with us during potluck on Sunday, immediately following service. And if you don't have anything to bring, don't let that stop you. We always have plenty and more than enough food. Our Prosperity Conscious book study class, or book study, I guess we'll call it, is on again. Join Malika Davey and myself sometimes. Right now I've had to step out for a little bit, but the talks are on Tuesday. And you started last week, right, Malika? So you won't be missing very much. You jump right in from 3:30 to 5 o'clock. And this is actually a really fun group because we read the book as we're doing the thing. So you don't have like a bunch of stuff to do before. We actually do it live together and then discuss it. And it's a wonderful discussion. I have so much fun with them. So please join us for that. And drop off your non-perishable donations on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Wednesdays, and Sunday mornings. And I know that those receiving them really appreciate it. And thanks to all of you who continue to fill up that box out there. And we are back doing 1-minute miracles. So afterwards, practitioners will all be up here. So don't leave without your 1-minute miracle, whether you have something heavy on your heart or you have something you want to manifest or celebrate. We would love to do that with you. And now I invite you all to stand for our Standing in the Light portion, where we take situations and circumstances and we know the possibilities and the potentialities for them. And I am standing in the light today for our beautiful spiritual center and welcoming our new minister, just absolutely knowing all things good and great happening here. Standing in the light for brother and sister-in-law, for Gail. Standing in the light for our beloved Danielle.
I'm standing in the light for my new home, and I thank the universe.
Standing in the light for the new home. Standing in the light for Cindy's perfect healing. Standing in the light for our beloved Chuck and his new dwelling place. And I'm standing in the light for anyone in the line of tornadoes on this day. And standing in the light for each one here, as I invite you all to put your own name into this field of love and light. Linda. And so how good it is to come together. Recognizing there's just one thing going on at all times, and that is the presence. The very presence of God, life, whatever you want to call it, knowing that it is ever here, ever available, always on the scene, always in the midst, no matter what. There is not a spot where God is not. So I know that we are filled with this loving presence as we leave forth from this sanctuary today, and we take this love energy out into the world, and we multiply it, and we pass it on, and this just ripples out across the planet on this day. And knowing that grace has preceded us, and that everything that is needed is fully here for us when it is needed. Always, always, always. So I am just so grateful for this and so much more as I invite you to claim this with me through the beautiful words, and so it is, and so it shall be. Thank you, everyone.
Wash over